Can you believe that it's September already? Where has the year gone? In any case, I'm Karen Antara. Welcome to my channel, and this is my September energy report. And it's been shown to me that we are in a recalibration process. It's underway, it's gathering momentum. As we move through September and beyond, it's actually going to intensify, which is kind of quite exciting, don't you think? So, if you are to live at your highest potential and really step into your purpose and mission, you must move with this recalibration process if you possibly can. If you resist, well, it's not completely, that you'll be left behind or anything like that, but you're not on this wave, this momentum, this motion forward. So, and if you're on this wave, well, that can really assist you to, manifest what it is or achieve your goals much more quickly, because you're literally riding with that beautiful energy that's coming through. And this really is a quantum opportunity that's being presented to us now. Quantum meaning, unexpected or maybe unexplained or complete exponential growth compared to what you had previously expected. So when you get an insight, when you get a sign or a message or an intuitive hit, if you possibly can, act on it now. One phrase that I kept hearing as I was channeling this was, the time is now, the time is now. It's right now. It was kind of really impressed upon me, that message. So at the same time though, we must be clear about the signs that we're seeing, because it's very easy to allow the ego to kind of get in the way and think that something really is a sign when it actually isn't. This is where our discernment comes in, being able to feel the alignment to something that's perfect for us, recognizing what it really feels like, as I say, to be in alignment. Fear, sometimes when we feel fear, we see these signs and a fear feeling comes up. We have to then discern, is that really fear? Or is that excitement? Is this, wow, I've been waiting for this all the time, and this little bubble of excitement comes up, and maybe we interpret that as fear. There is a part of our brain called the reticular activating system. The mind's job, the brain's job in a sense, is to keep us safe. So if we've had challenging times in the past, the reticular activating system is on alert for any signs that could appear or feel similar to some of the challenging times that we've experienced. We might perceive that as a warning sign. Don't go there because it feels a little bit scary. But sometimes that scary feeling can also be excitement. It can be like, wow, I've been rehearsing to go on stage and I'm just about to step out. Is that fear that comes up, or is it a little bubble of excitement? And that's what we have to discern, because the true signs that lead us into our highest potential, they may carry that little bubble of excitement. So we don't want to misinterpret it. We don't want to think, oh, it's in fear, I can't go there. This is where the discernment comes in. So sometimes alignment could come with a little burst of energy that signifies that we're on track. Finally on track, maybe it's something that we've been working towards for a while. And perhaps it's not even a small burst of energy, but a huge energetic alignment and a shift so big that it almost feels kind of cataclysmic as it shifts everything around in our life, and it's exactly what we've been dreaming of. So there can be a little bit of a, oh, this is scary, but it's so good. And, this is where the discernment comes in. So I don't want to see you holding back. If there's actually something that's exciting, you should be moving forward on it. So what I've, picked up, what's been shown to me, is through September and beyond, lots and lots of moving pieces. shifting perspectives, releasing of old beliefs and old patterns of stuckness that feels safe to us, and comfortable, because when we're in the comfort zone, even positive growth can actually feel a little bit scary and challenging because it moves us out of our comfort zone. So sometimes that stuckness feels safe and comfortable, and we stay there for far too long sometimes, even when we know on some level that we really are here for more and that we have a far bigger role to play, particularly in this upcoming new timeline. And in fact, we really are stepping onto that now. Some have even progressed quite some way onto it by now. So September is a time when those pieces are all getting shifted and moved around, reshuffled, if you like. So we're picking up some of the old pieces, things that we've put down maybe because we couldn't see how they would fit into the big picture, perhaps. But now we're actually picking them up, and we're seeing them really quite differently. And we're seeing, well, that piece that I didn't think fitted works perfectly here. And so what I really feel that we're doing with all of these pieces is we're just gathering them together, and we can really see the big picture now. We can build it now. We've got these pieces. And this is very true sometimes when we've been on this personal development and growth and spiritual growth path for a long time. We can't see where these pieces fit in, but I really think it's all starting to come together for many of us now. So I'm really looking at a big mechanism here when I kind of look into future timeline potentials, that kind of thing. It looks to me, how it was shown to me, it's always symbolic, of course, but it was shown to me like the workings of an old-fashioned watch or clock, with little levers and pulleys and cogs, and, everything links in perfectly in it, and the mechanism is precise and superb. And I feel that that's the stage that many of us are getting to at this point. It's all beginning to turn in a way that it hasn't for a long, long time. And we are really being returned now to an original timeline, moving away from what has been fake and false and inverted, of course. The world is beginning to turn upside down, in a sense, from the false narrative back into truth. So, as I've said before, you can expect to see an awful lot of truth revealing, some of it shocking, a lot of it quite exciting as well. So we're moving back from false into truth, where we should have been this whole time had this whole construct not been hijacked. So at the end of the Mayan calendar in 2012, when the world as we knew it was meant to end, so that we could elevate into that new earth, that new timeline. But, there were some that just couldn't let that go. They hijacked the consciousness and used it to create a false construct of entrapment, which is where we've been for some time. But, the consciousness is coming back online now. Our consciousness is coming back online. This is an ascension cycle. Everything is geared towards this. And, people that want to control this can only hold it back for a certain period of time. And we're getting to the end of that time now as we claim our sovereignty and our power, and we begin to remember who we truly are. So it's not that, the controllers are releasing us. It's just that because we are choosing truth and authenticity, highest frequency you can get is authenticity. And as more and more and more of us do this, it's the collective, it's the mass awakening that we've been waiting for eons of time. And, this is why there's even more of a push by them to suppress the truth online, and a push by us to demand free speech and, opening up of old records that have been hidden and censored and kept away from us. People are awakening in massive numbers now. And it's as if the spell that they had us under is truly, truly breaking down now, even for the masses. There will always be some that resist, of course. But many of us have not been under their spell for a really, really long time. And, we're seeing people surfacing from that spell now. And it's like, well, welcome. We've been waiting for you a long time. But anyway, at least they're doing it, right? And so, more people are questioning, they're demanding truth, and they're standing up and they're being seen. And this is all destined. And the light continues to pour in greater and greater amounts, and it's brighter and brighter than ever. And that light is just showing us what was hidden in the darkness. It's always been there, some of that really dark and icky stuff, but because the light is so bright, it literally is shining the light of truth upon it, and now we can all see it. And people are demanding answers, and people want this sorted out now. Now, we still have a ways to go, but what we're seeing really is a last-ditch attempt to keep control. And at this time, I think what we can expect to see now is this extraterrestrial ET influence starting to come through more and more. Now, we know that ET groups already work with those in government, both positive and negative groups, by the way. And unless you are a true insider, it's very, very difficult to work out who's who and what's what, really, because false info is released to distract us. Disinformation is released. So honestly, believing anyone, any intel at this time is really a bit tricky. Let's be honest. As well, just as they did when they created the false ascension matrix, which was to distract and divert the people that were awaking spiritually at that time, drive them into the false ascension matrix. So just as that was first created, they positioned influencers to do that, to distract and confuse the truth. And now we're seeing a similar thing happening with this next level now. So we're seeing more and more channels claiming that they have the answers and they've seen what's next for humanity. Now, some, perhaps they have seen the truth, I don't know, and some have not, but how do we discern who has and who has not? Very, very difficult now to really discern the truth when it's being presented actually in such a manipulated way. And what of these ET beings and groups? Because believe me, we're going to see that ramp up big time. People like Bashar have been talking about this, there being open contact with extraterrestrial. And yes, I kind of agree, actually. I can really relate to that. But the danger is, who is the open contact with? And of course, everyone wants to be to have a piece of that, right? They want to be the first. I contacted this ET, and this is what's coming through. And this is a trap for the ego, really. Everyone wants to be the one that has these new ET contacts. We've seen people making a mint, actually, selling light language courses, activations all over the place. And in a sense, they too have been a part of setting the stage for this, because everyone wants to be someone on social media, don't they? It's rife out there. People are making a lot of money and actually not giving much value. Certainly not all of those light language activations work, for sure. I've seen that. Anyway, in my experience, it's the ones who are working quietly behind the scenes that are doing the real work many times. They write books, but they're not out there doing huge book tours. They're the ones that are rarely on some of the big podcasts. You're just not going to find them there because they're not in that particular frequency band of delivering a distorted message. Now, there are many big podcasts, and I'm sure they have genuine people as well. I'm just saying, we need to watch out for this, practice discernment. So the people that are doing the real work are very often quiet. They are quietly holding the truth and doing the work. And it's not so glamorous, I can tell you. This work sometimes is pretty challenging to hold these frequencies when so much on this planet has been distorted and in negativity and put into fear with all the disinformation, etc., etc. So holding your light, staying in alignment, staying in truth, there's a bit of work to do to hold that. And there is much purification of the ego that must take place as well to hold that frequency, especially, when everyone is trying to get seen all over social media, and a lot of people kind of let themselves down a little bit in their bid to be seen or to have so many followers. Our work, my work, is not for everyone, and I'm completely okay with that. There are many of us that have been holding this within us for eons of time, actually for lifetimes, of just holding this frequency, this knowing, this truth. We've been holding that for eons of time until the time is right. And I know that we're moving into that time now. That's why it's very exciting. We've just been holding it until the time is right. That time is now, and you know who you are. You know if you are meant to connect with me. You know if you are meant to, bring something new out into the world. There is a knowing within you, and that's the place that you need to get to know it, to feel it, to trust it, and then to act on it. I know my part in this, and if you are ready to be activated through the consciousness field that I hold, then reach out to me, because now is the time. And equally, if you've been feeling something similar with another person whose work that you like and admire, well, then I would say to you, is now the time that you step out and you reach into their space, because we hold these consciousness field. The work that I do really is a living field of consciousness that evolves and it aligns with you and what needs to be brought from within you for you to live and reach your highest potential. And we have a specific period of time now to prepare for this. Things are being put in place and brought through now specifically for this time and to carry us forward. It's as if now, we've kind of got the message and it's like, okay, it's go time now. Everything that you've been working on, developing, not just in this lifetime, but in others as well, needs to come through now, needs to be expressed, needs to be shared. So I find this very exciting, actually. And I know this work that we're doing, that I'm doing, and others like me, is beyond anything else that we've done to date. Because literally, we've been waiting for a time when this frequency can actually be here on the planet. Certain grid lines and things needed to be cleared and frequencies needed to be brought in, and it's a very precise mechanism. As I said, when I saw the vision of the internal workings of, an old-fashioned clock that was so meticulous with its timing, and this is the time that I feel that we're in now. So many pieces are coming into place now. It's very exciting. I'm very happy. So, You know, there is a natural progression to this, and it's an unfoldment of who we truly are on the inside, what we're really here to do, and it's time now. So I'll leave you with that for today. Reach out if any of what I've said calls to you. And you know, you can DM me, find me on Facebook, or find me at my website, which is karenantaraenergycoach. And please share with me how you're finding these energies. Are you feeling that everything is coming into place for you as well? I bet you are if you're listening to those internal messages. I'm very excited about this time and what we're moving into. Okay, well, keep in touch and I'll see you next time. Bye bye for now.